Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Today's video of prohibited areas includes a secretive North Korean Room 39, an island filled with infested monkeys, an apocalyptic hideout, the vault of COCA-COLA, a spooky Indian fort, and many more. But let's start with PRAVCICKA BRANA. The PRAVCICKA BRANA is the largest natural arch in Europe. It is located in the Bohemian Switzerland National Park in northwest Bohemia. If you've seen the film The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, you might recognize it, because several scenes were shot there. An inn and a hotel were also built there, but this increased the influx of visitors, and as a result, the arch has been placed out of bounds since 1982. For years, the scientists have been wondering how it's possible that PRAVCICKA BRANA has not already fallen down. The rock arch is actually too thin and fragile for carrying its own weight, and repeated expansion and shrinking are caused by the outside temperature changes. So now, you can see it only from a distance, but can never set foot upon this historic landmark. Ghost town of Pripyat. Well, you were waiting for this one now, weren't you? The exclusion zone of Chernobyl was evacuated immediately after the nuclear disaster in 1986. Since then, there is no permanent resident there. Yeah, sure, people go to visit it, but that too after getting specialized permission. The exclusion zone covers an area of approximately 2,600 square kilometers. 116,000 residents were evacuated after the fateful night of April 27th in just 30 hours. After the evacuation, some stubborn grandmas came back and refused to leave the ground. Since they lived on the outskirts of Pripyat, they were allowed to live there. But the main hub of this ghost town has become a hub for wildlife. Many sightings of animals such as wolves, elk, wild boar, deer, and even bears who seem to vanish have reappeared. The place looks so surreal. It's wild how humankind vanished from the place in just a matter of hours, completely desolating the land. Chapel of the Ark of the Covenant. The place where the Ark of the Covenant is located is one of the most controversial and debated arguments in the world. It is claimed that it is present in a chapel in Ethiopia, but no one has ever seen it except the guard of the place, who is a monk. It arrived there nearly 3,000 years ago, they say, and has been guarded by a succession of virgin monks who, once anointed, are forbidden to set foot outside the chapel grounds until they die. Not even the president of the country has access to it. It is said that the Ark of the Covenant contains the tablets on which the infamous 10 Commandments were written by Moses at the commandment of God. Many say that the chapel only has a fake replica, but no one can say anything for sure, as it's forbidden to visit. Zone Rouge. Ah, the horrors of war. If you're familiar with the events of World War I, well, I know that the second one is kind of more famous, you would be familiar with the horror of Zone Rouge. Located in northeastern France, the French government isolated it after the events of the war. The land originally covered more than 1,200 square kilometers and was deemed to physically and environmentally damaged by conflict for human habitation. The zone was declared completely devastated. The status report was: damage to properties, 100%. Damage to agriculture, 100%. Impossible to clean. And obviously, human life was also impossible to exist. Soils were heavily polluted by lead, mercury, chlorine, arsenic, and various other dangerous gases, acids, and human and animal remains. Yeah, so you get the gist of it, right? It's dangerous, and you guys are prohibited to visit. Room 39. Nope, not your average red room, but it has quite a notorious reputation. I mean, it's in North Korea. What the hell did you guys expect, huh? Room 39 is supposedly a secretive North Korean party organization that seeks ways to maintain the foreign currency slush fund for the country's elite. It is famous for using money from drug smuggling, money laundering, and human trafficking to keep the North Korean powerful people's lives filled with luxury. I swear, if it's some kind of Squid Game thing, That'd be sick. According to the UN, it is used to buy political support and invest in nuclear and ballistic missile research programs. To capture this money, the regime is said to have put in place several tactics. It would rely on the North Korean Army's cyber units and would select future hackers from a very young age. In exchange, the regime would guarantee them a certain standard of living. Morgan Island. You would be surprised to know that this island is prohibited to visit due to its huge population of monkeys. Yeah, monkeys. Kind of feels strange, right? That the list that contains top-secret military and nuclear bases also has a monkey island? Well, that's because all of these monkeys are infected with the herpes B virus. The population has boomed up to 4,000 monkeys. Located in Beaufort County, South Carolina, the history of the place is that originally, the monkey colony, now located on Morgan Island, was located in La Parguera, Puerto Rico, at the Caribbean Primate Research Center. The CDC report stated that there were viral outbreaks among locals when the monkeys became overpopulated, so they were shifted to Morgan Island. In 1979, over 1,400 animals were relocated to Morgan Island. Morgan Island's rhesus population has been involved in a number of studies on vaccines, polio, AIDS, and more. Given the controversy around animal testing, the island is well protected and off-limits to civilians. Also, they are quite territorial now and don't take kindly to strangers. Mount Weather. In all the apocalyptic movies, we see that usually there's a place built by the government where all the important officials go to wear out the calamity. Well, the reality is not so different after all. Have you guys heard about Mount Weather, a government command facility in the U.S. Commonwealth of Virginia, used as the center of operations for the Federal Emergency Management Agency? The facility is a major relocation site for the highest level of civilian and military officials in case of natural disaster. For many years, the place was a myth, and people didn't even know if it was real. It has also been mentioned in many famous fictional novels, series, and films. Located on a 434-acre mountain site on the borders of Loudoun and Clark counties, the above-ground support facilities with 240 employees, including about a dozen buildings providing communication links to the White House Situation Room. Well, as usual, the rich are sorted. Maya Bay. Located in Thailand's Hap Nafarat Tharamu Kopipi National Park, Maya Bay wasn't prohibited for any nuclear activity, infected monkey population, or secret government clubhouse, but because it's pretty. Yeah, no kidding. The story goes that after the release of Leonardo DiCaprio's film in 2000, The Beach, people began swarming the area. So much so that from October 2015 to May 2016, the place generated revenues of 362 million baht from 1.2 million tourists, out of which 77% were foreign. As the number of tourists increased, so did the environmental issues. The production company also removed 5 tons of garbage from the beach left behind by tourists. Offers to restore this, along with replanting, were not accepted. Fox set aside a fund to reconstruct and return the beach to its natural state, after which the beach was closed. Now it's reported that it has been opened recently. So now you guys can visit. Just remember not to dump garbage, or else it'll close again. LASCAUX Caves. LASCAUX was a network of caves near the village of Montignac in southwestern France. Over 600 wall paintings cover the interior walls and ceilings of the cave. They are the combined effort of many generations, and with continued debate, the age of the paintings is now usually estimated at around 17,000 years. The story of its discovery is actually quite interesting. On September 12, 1940, the entrance to the LASCAUX cave was discovered by an 18-year-old boy, Marcel Ravidat, when his dog fell in a hole. Ravidat returned to the scene with 3 of his friends. They entered the cave through a 50-foot deep shaft that they believe might be a legendary secret passage to the nearby LASCAUX Manor. The teenagers discovered that the cave walls were covered with depictions of animals. The cave complex was open to the public in 1948. By 1955, carbon dioxide, heat, humidity, and other contaminants produced by 1,200 visitors per day had visibly damaged the paintings. North Sentinel Island. Now, this has got to be the island of anyone's nightmare. Meet the Sentinelese. Oh, wait, no, you can't, because they don't welcome any foreigners. Well, not welcome is a mild term. They'll literally kill you if you try to enter the island's territory. North Sentinel Island is one of the Andaman Islands, located in the Bay of Bengal. The area is patrolled by the Indian Navy. Many adventurers or government officials who went there met their untimely demise at the hands of these Sentinelese. It has been estimated that these people have lived for almost 60,000 years there without any cohabitation. Many fishermen who accidentally venture there, or American adventurers who have tried to establish contact with this indigenous tribe, have been pronounced dead. The Coca-Cola Secret Vault. Never in my life did I think the recipe for Coca-Cola would be kept hidden in a secret vault. For over 135 years of the history and timeless appeal of Coca-Cola, the recipe is one of the most closely guarded secrets of all time. For the past 86 years, the Coca-Cola Company's secret formula has been locked away in a vault in Atlanta at the World of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola inventor John Pemberton is known to have shared his original formula with at least 4 people before his death in 1888. According to the company, only 2 employees are privy to the complete formula at any given time, and they're not permitted to travel together. When one dies, the other must choose a successor within the company and impart the recipe to that person. The identity of the 2 employees in possession of the secret is itself a secret. Wow, hell of a lot of secrecy. The Whites Club. Whites is the oldest gentlemen's club in London, founded in 1693, and is considered by many to be the most exclusive private club in London. The most debatable and controversial thing about the club is its policy to not include any women. Yep, it's a strict men's-only club. The notable current members include Prince Charles and Prince William. Former British Prime Minister David Cameron's father, Ian Cameron, was the club's chairman, who resigned in 2008 over the club's declining to admit women. The only woman that was ever allowed to visit the premises was the one and only Queen Elizabeth in 1991 and 2016. In January 2018, calling themselves Women in Whites, a group of female protesters infiltrated the club to highlight its single-sex policy, one managing to gain entry by pretending to be a man. These persons were removed. Nobody knows what all of these men do there. You know, it could be anything. Now don't be negative, maybe they watch soccer games or play Monopoly. Plymouth. Also known commonly as the ghost town capital of the island of Montserrat, is an overseas territory of the United Kingdom located in the West Indies. Constructed on historical lava deposits near the then long inactive Soufriere Hills volcano, the town was urgently evacuated when in 1995 the volcano resumed erupting. The residents were again resettled in the vicinity, only to again evacuate after another sudden volcanic eruption. The latest one resulted in the death of approximately 19 citizens. Many got injured, and even the town's airport got destroyed, leaving the citizens stranded as most of the town turned into ash. Plymouth was eventually abandoned permanently in 1997, after it was substantially burnt and mostly buried. The entire southern part of the island was abandoned, and an exclusion zone was created around the volcano, meaning travel to the south was restricted. Although completely abandoned, Plymouth is still classified as the capital, and therefore is the world's only ghost town capital of any political territory. Bhangarh Fort, India. Bhangarh Fort is known as the most haunted place in India, and perhaps the greatest unsolved mystery. The legend around this place got so famous that the officials had to ban the place from visiting from sunset to sunrise, which means you can only visit it during the daylight. Of the many stories that the locals state, The most popular is that of Emperor Madho Singh, who built the city after attaining the approval of Guru Balunath, a religious devotee who used to meditate there. The saint gave his approval on the condition that the shadow of the emperor's palace should never fall on his retreat. But unfortunately it did, and that was when the curse started. Foreigners are not allowed to visit the place. There is also a famous story of 3 daredevils that spent the night inside the fort. Even though they had a flashlight, one of them fell into a well. As soon as he was rescued by his friends, they rushed to the hospital. However, on the way, all 3 of them got killed during an accident. VAROSHA, Cyprus. Before the division of Cyprus in 1974, VAROSHA was a booming resort town with skyscraping hotels, glamorous shopping districts, and sandy beaches frequently called the best in Cyprus. It was called the most luxurious holiday city of that time. But since 1974, everyone but the Turkish military was forbidden from entering, and today, the once booming resort town lies crumbling and abandoned. It was home to nearly 39,000 residents, who immediately evacuated their homes. Some left their wedding presents in their attic, while others said they still had pots cooking on the stove when they left. But the good news is that in a show of good faith, the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus recently opened two of VAROSHA's streets to visitors. It has become a tourist attraction, with bike rentals, cafes, playgrounds, and a beach volley court at the foot of empty buildings on the verge of collapse. SVALBARD Global Seed Vault. No need to worry about a supposed doomsday, as we now have all the seeds to regrow the crops again. The SVALBARD Global Seed Vault is a remote place that lies between Norway and the North Pole. It has the largest collection of seed varieties and was made in case of any doomsday or the loss of Earth's natural reserves. The place is highly secretive, and nobody is allowed to go there except when the stocking occurs twice a year. The location was chosen due to the ideal conditions for storage, and also due to its remote location. There isn't any danger of theft. So if the Earth will ever face some devastating calamity, you'll know where to go in search of plantation reserves. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. This image was sent to us by one of our subscribers. Similarly, if you ever wish to know more about an image you come across, just send it on over to us. Who knows? We might even feature it in one of our videos. Today's subscriber pick is a picture of an art installation named Broken Landscape by a Finnish artist, Antti Leighton. His work mostly revolves around nature and landscapes, including woven circles that are like semi-transparent shutters. ULURU. ULURU, also known as the Ayers Rocks, is a large sandstone formation located in the heart of Australia. ULURU is one of Australia's most recognizable natural landmarks and has been a popular destination for tourists since the late 1930s. Apart from being a spectacular natural site, the place is also a deeply spiritual one, and due to its connection with the indigenous people, the place was banned from climbing. Due to its sacred nature, the spiritual people claimed that if any disrespectful tourist visited the site, they would be cursed. The claim escalated so much that people began reporting their bad luck after visiting the area. Some even used to revisit the place only to remove the curse. The rock rises 1,142 feet above the surrounding desert plain and reaches a height of 2,831 feet above sea level. It changes color according to the position of the sun. It is most visually striking at sunset, when it is colored a fiery orange-red by the sun's rays. AKSAI Chin. This is one of the most highly controversial places in Asia. AKSAI Chin is a region administered by China as part of Hotan County, Xinjiang, and Tibet. It is also claimed by India to be a part of its Leh district, Ladakh. It is a part of the eastern portion of the Kashmir region and has been a subject of dispute between China and India since the late 1950s. Well, it seems that India has a conflict with nearly all of its neighbors. Because of its 16,000-foot elevation, the AKSAI Chin has no human importance other than as an ancient trade route, which provided a temporary pass during summer for caravans of yaks between Xinjiang and Tibet. For military campaigns, the region held great importance. It's kind of a no-man's land, which means that only the militaries are allowed there. Both countries' troops have patrolled this contested 2,200-mile border. That's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video till the end. See you next time.